Friends, my name is Abhishek Sawant, and by background, I am Masters in Pharmaceutical Sciences from NMIMS and MBA Marketing from Wellington. And I have been helping students a lot into their SAT and GRE journeys and study abroad journeys. And I have been in the industry for almost a decade now, since the time I started preparing for SAT and GRE. And since then, I have been very much passionate about helping students to solve their doubts into certain sections of quant, verbal, and also certain doubts related to their educational choices, what they want to do and how they want to pursue it ahead. So today's topic is going to be more of SAT and GRE, one of the most sought after exams in India. And Indian students are literally crazy about these exams because compared to what exams we have in India, these exams are slightly more concept oriented and help a lot for your further studies abroad. So that would be our very, very important topic for today's discussion about SAT and GRE. So if you know about what basically is SAT, Aptitude Test, and GRE, Graduate Record Examinations. So if you see, these are the two exams which are like a mandatory tests along with the certain English language tests like IELTS or TOEFL if you have to pursue study abroad, especially in the United States, which is the land of opportunities. In SAT, especially if you want to go abroad for your bachelor's, BS, most of the courses are termed as BS from the science part. Those courses you need to give SAT exam. And if you want to pursue your master's ahead, which is called as an MS or MSc in Indian language, MS is Master of Science. If you want to pursue Master of Science abroad, you generally appear for Graduate Record Examination. So GRE pattern initially used to be of 1600, but now it is only of 340. And I believe these exams will surely help you get a great gateway towards the United States. What is the purpose of this exam? As I mentioned, depends on whether you want to pursue your bachelor's or master's. So if you are focusing more on the master's exam of it, give GRE. If you are focused more on the bachelor side of it, after your 12th standard, when you pursue a BS in America or allied countries, you must give your SAT. This is the main purpose of giving these two examinations. So what do these tests measure? These tests measure only two things. Your verbal ability, so that in case you are going to study in a country like America where English is the most spoken language, or the only spoken business language, you should be good enough to understand the high frequency words which are used in American English. So you should be well versed with the American English. So it measures your verbal ability. Can you understand well? Can you comprehend the American English? It is not just an English language test like IELTS or TOEFL. It's a comprehensive test. And it also tests your quantitative ability. Can you do a basic mathematical calculation? Can you do a basic, simple, are your fundamentals clear? So these tests are only going to measure your verbal ability and mathematical ability, to be frank. If you have to give a GRE, generally study abroad, eligibility is 12 plus 4. 12 standard plus 4 years of your graduation, which could be a BTech, BE, B.Pharma, which will comprise 16 years of education in India, followed up with a good GRE score, you will get into America. We're talking about SAT, 12 standard, a good score followed up by a good SAT score will be your gateway to America for these two tests. Okay, let's go to the next query which most of the students have. How are these exams conducted? Initially, a time was there when these exams used to be an offline exams, paper pencil based test. But now everything is online. All the exams, whether it's SAT or GRE, it is purely conducted online, which is called as CPT, computer based test. That is how the tests are conducted. It's not going to be an offline paper pencil like IELTS. It's purely online, and that is the reason you need to be very, very sure with your technical skills. You can miss out on one question and then you can mess up your exam. So beware that you have to have a computer savviness while attempting these two exams. That is the main criteria. Of course, you can do, if students ask me that, what, I have given the exam, but I don't think that was my best score. I don't think that was my best attempt. Can I retake the exams? Of course, you can retake the exams. Generally, people score very well in their second attempt. So the best score out of the first two will be considered for your applications. And that is the benefit of these exams, unlike Indian exams where you give an exam, you don't do well, maybe you can mess up. But here you have an advantage. You think you can do well later on, you must reappear, re-register and retake the exam with a good score. That is my suggestion. Now, what is the availability of these exams? Frankly, these exams are generally conducted all across the year, but I will tell you when students give it the most. Maximum students write these exams in the span between June to August. Where if in case you are in the final year of your examination or the final year of curriculum, do write it between June to August, because that gives you sufficient leeway. Because after August, within generally around 45 to 60 days, the results come in. You can start your applications. So you are eligible for the fall semester next year in America. And that is how this is the sweet spot to take these two exams to be eligible and make your application process smoother. This is my opinion. Now, what is the syllabus for SAT and GRE? Syllabus, if I tell you, both the exams have similar syllabus. There is no demarcation in that. But English language, almost close to 1,000 high frequency words of English, which is given by the examination board, and quantitative syllabus, which is almost like your first standard to 10th standard of what have you studied. If your basics are clear, if you read the newspaper quite regularly, I don't think so there will be any challenge for you to crack SAT or GRE for that matter. So just have your good verbal ability, logical ability, and quantitative aptitude. If you are good in these three areas, I'm sure you can crack the exam very, very easily. So most important question, what is the exam pattern of SAT and GRE? So let's go with the SAT first. So overall, the SAT exam comprises of 1600 marks, out of which it is broken down into two aspects, 800 English language and logical ability, and 800 for mathematics. If you look at these two separate patterns, English will be more about reading and comprehension, fill in the blanks, and sentence completion, whereas maths will be purely MCQ based questions, where you will be given a choices and you have to write down and select the right choice for the exam. So if you prepare well in both the scores, then 1500 plus out of 1600 is considered as the safest score to land in a good university in USA. If we talk about GRE, initially it used to be of 1600, but now it has come down to 340. So 170 is mathematics, 170 is English language and comprehension. Pattern is followed the same. One small thing to mention here is that once you start writing the questions and you start getting the answers correct in CPT, computer-based test, your level of difficulty starts increasing slightly. That is a good sign that you have been doing well in the exam. But in case you make a couple of mistakes, you will see the level of difficulty has slightly come down. So that is like a red flag for you to understand that if easy questions are coming up, did I mess up? Did I create any problem in the previous case? Because only then the easy questions will start coming up. That is a very, very key factor into the CBT, computer-based test. So be careful about it. And I'm sure you can do very well once you understand this dynamics of a computer-based test. So what are the score scales in SAT and GRE, and what is considered as a good score? So as I mentioned, in SAT out of 1600, generally 1400 plus is definitely a good score. Frankly, it all depends on your choices of universities. If you want to land into tech giants like Carnegie Mellon, Georgia Tech, etc., then obviously a 1500 plus score will be required. The reason is, it is not just about getting into a good university, it is also about getting a good scholarship while you're applying for the same. So if you have a 1500 plus score and a good academic record, your scholarship can also be taken care of. That will be another advantage to you. And in GRE, out of 340, 320 plus is an excellent score. So most of the universities do ask for 300 plus, but why not to aim for higher one? So 300 plus score in GRE is considered as an excellent score. You will be safe into the safe candidates list of any US university once you have 1500 plus in SAT and 320 plus in GRE. This is my opinion. So one of the prominent questions, what is a super score? So in case you are not happy with your first exam score and you repeat the exam and you end up scoring more, but there is a catch. You scored almost 130 in English, 170 in math. In the next exam, you ended up scoring less in English and somehow equal in math. But universities are generous enough to consider best of both the attempts, top scores, so that your overall average score for the application increases. And that is where the super score aspect comes in, where benefit is definitely given to you for two best scores of the test, and you have on an average a higher score than you had initially appeared for. What is the validity of the score for these exams? For GRE, the current validity is around 5 years. So you can, that is the reason some people start preparing for it in earlier life, maybe in second or third year of their college degree, so that they study well and their score is valid enough for the next 5 years. That is the benefit of it. And for SAT, the score is valid for 3 years currently. So that is the benefit of it. You can make most of this time to ensure that your application gets the best benefit possible. Are SAT and GRE accepted by Indian universities? Very well question. Excellent question. Yes. So there are management courses in India. For example, there are colleges like SDA Bocconi University. There are colleges like NMIMS, the other campus, which is like New Mumbai or Bangalore campus. Nowadays, even a few new colleges are coming up, like Asoka University, IIFL. So these are the colleges and universities who are open to accept your SAT and GRE score for their business administration courses. They do have their own private exams too, but in case you have given GRE, your score will surely be considered for the business related courses if you are planning to pursue the same in India. Now, this is a very common question which I get: SAT or ACT, SAT or ACT. Generally, ACT is more like a subject test. So in case you believe maybe you are appearing for a math subject test for ACT, if you think you have a phobia of English, I won't say phobia, but if you think English is not that your core forte, and maths, you are too good in maths and sciences, you can choose to take ACT for sure. But there are exceptions to it. Some colleges are open to have both the best options, ACT or ACT, ACT, okay? And in case but maybe when you are appearing for a business course or a language course where your lingual ability is must to be tested, those colleges do ask for SAT, SAT. But in case you are taking admission to a STEM course or a vocational course, those colleges are okay to check your ACT or ACT score, because eventually your mathematical ability, quantitative aptitude is tested stronger in ACT compared to SAT. So I hope this session on SAT and GRE was helpful enough, and I would like to thank the EduClub from MapMyStudy for guiding consistently students in their study abroad journey. And if you have any doubt, if you want to reconnect regarding any questions or that sort, I'm sure MapMyStudy is there, and I'm also here to help you out in your US journey. All the best for your exams. Stay in touch. Do well.